And that's the recording started.
Yeah, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this meeting of the local review body. Please note that this is a meeting with all members and officers attending remotely. The public section of this meeting will be recorded and published online for viewing after the meeting. Can members activate their cameras when possible, and can all attendees mute their microphones when not speaking? Please do not comment during items unless you are invited to do so. Can I confirm that all members present today have been able to access the presentations uploaded in the calendar invite for the meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. As we have now been operating remotely for quite a while, and the committee members should now be used to this type of proceedings, I will not remind you of the technical operations, but don't hesitate to contact the chair or an officer should there be any questions. As usual, if members lose connection or have technical issues during the meeting, please alert the committee officer by a separate Teams chat message if possible, and support will be available from an ICT officer whom today will be Ms. Donovan. Can you remind us?
I believe it's Mr. McFarlane.
Alexander Mayer. Yeah, thank you very much. Scheduled breaks will be attempted as per past meetings. As you can all see, I am of poor health this morning, so I would ask the members if one of them could stand and chair this meeting, allowing me to retire to my, I was going to say deathbed, hopefully not, but you see the point here. Are you all happy with that? Yeah, Councillor Davidson, please.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'm sorry that you're not feeling very well today, and I'm pleased that you're here to participate. And yeah. I'm happy to chair if you're
okay.
If you wish
well,
to pass the baton.
This will have to be put to the other members of the committee so that you are elected accordingly. But thank you very much for your help. And now, Councillor Goodall.
Just for clarification, being the vice chair, I thought I'd point out that I'm in the same situation as you. That's why we're seeking another chair. I have the same illness, as it were. So I don't think I would be able to chair either. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Do you want to retire as well?
I'll stay in the meeting, but I can't speak for long. I just keep coughing and spluttering, but I'll stay in the meeting.
All right, thank you very much. Well, can you supervise the election of a chair?
Certainly. Do we have a nomination for chair?
Yes, I hear that Councillor Davidson would volunteer. Councillor Menard?
Yes, I'm happy to second and support Councillor Davidson in her volunteering.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, anybody else minded? I don't see any indication. Thank you very much for letting me retire, and I leave the proceedings in Councillor Davidson's capable hands. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, good morning. So, Ms. Donovan, can I ask you to consider it by means of a roll call, please?
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, members. I'm just going to go through Sedgwick today. So we now have apologies from Councillor Longshea. Councillor Davidson, please.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Goodall.
Present.
Councillor Menard.
Good morning, present.
Councillor Simpson.
Present.
And Councillor Victor, please.
Present.
Chair, we have 5 members present today.
And the officers present are Bruce Strachan, who's the planning advisor, Amanda De Candida, who's our legal advisor, Paige Donovan, committee officer, and Lisa Pratt, who's viewing us today to monitor what we're doing and learning. Very welcome, all of you. So, do members acknowledge the public sector equality duty when considering each of the reviews before them today? Please let me know if you do not agree. Thank you. And then we have the minute of the LRB meeting of the 22nd of May 2026. We have a draft minute before us. Do members approve the minute of the 22nd of May? If not, can you please indicate with your hands up function? So I'll take that as agreed. There's a spreadsheet attached highlighting the relevant policies for each review. Can you note the list of policies which should be considered for today's review? And then we've got a statement of outstanding business. Ms. Donovan, could you take us through that list?
Thank you, Chair. We have one item on the statement of outstanding business today, which is LRB 653, application 2025-0925. The information has been received from the planning service. However, we are still awaiting the agent to comment back on that. So we're still awaiting that information. The review is now anticipated to come back to the LRB on the 28th of August 2026. And I'm just asking members today to note the statement of outstanding business.
Thank you. So that's noted. Okay, we move on to LRB 656. Notice of review against refusal of full planning permission for replacement of doors at 21 George Street, Fraserburgh. And Mr. Strachan will present this review. So Mr. Strachan, if you would like to proceed.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Just waiting for the PowerPoint slides to come up now. Can everyone see those? Okay, that's great. Thank you, Chair. This review relates to the refusal of an application for full planning permission for replacement doors at 21 George Street in Fraserburgh. Members should be aware that the replacement of the windows on the property is not part of this application or part of the review that's being considered today. The site is centrally located within and lies to the southwest side of the street, as indicated on the refused location plan. And then the site plan on the right-hand side shows the property as a semi-detached dwelling house with a rear extension and a separate outbuilding. Slide 3 shows the refused front elevation. This drawing is annotated to confirm that the front door is proposed to be replaced with a UPVC door of the same colour, size and design as the one that's currently on the property, with rosewood UPVC being the specified material. At the rear, the door on the lean-to extension is also proposed to be replaced, and again the same specification, rosewood UPVC, is mentioned in the drawings. So number 21 is a C-listed building that sits within the Broadsea Conservation Area. This is the boundary of the Broadsea Conservation Area shown on this slide, just for information. And the property itself is just indicated, hopefully you can see, by the yellow drop pin on the bottom left-hand side of the Conservation Area George Street form boundary. And this is the aerial view showing the property within its immediate context. So members, there are two doors that are proposed to be replaced, the front door on the left-hand side here and the rear door, which is obviously shown on the right-hand side. The only recent planning history relates to the current applications for replacement windows and doors. Because this is property is C-listed, listed building consent was also required, and this has been refused by the planning service, and an appeal against that refusal is currently being considered by Scottish ministers through the DPEA. The process for replacing the windows in a conservation area no longer automatically requires full planning permission and went through the prior notification process that resulted in the applicant being advised that prior approval was needed. And to date, no prior approval application has been submitted, and one can maybe assume that's because the applicant's awaiting the outcome of this review and the listed building consent, which, as I said, is being determined by Scottish ministers. So the supporting information with the application included specification sheets and some visuals for the proposed doors. In response to the application, Built Heritage objected on the grounds that there was a presumption in favour of retaining fixtures and fittings of traditional construction, that it's also necessary to demonstrate that doors are beyond economic repair, usually by way of a condition survey, and that any replacement doors, the consultee said, on a listed building are expected to match the design, construction and material of the original doors, and that the proposed UPVC doors therefore conflict with policy. Within the report of handling, the planning service states that the application site, the property is C listed and within the conservation area, that the existing windows and doors are brown painted timber units, and that it is proposed to install rosewood effect composite UPVC doors at the front and the rear, that there would be support in principle for ancillary development and proposals that improve homes within MPF4. However, this is on the basis that any such development does not have a detrimental impact on the home or the surrounding area. And they say that other policies resist development that has an adverse impact on listed buildings, which must be of the highest standard, highest quality. So the alterations planning service concluded would diminish the value of the listed building and potentially set an unfavourable precedent in the conservation area if it was supported. The reason for refusal states that the proposed doors would be at odds with the appearance and the character of the listed building and the conservation area, and it is not considered to be an appropriate material. The development, therefore, is considered not to comply with development plan policies, which are listed in the reason. The applicant, in their supporting statement, highlights that the current windows and presumably doors were fitted in the mid-1990s. That listed building consent has been given for replacement windows and doors at number 7, 11 and 38, with applications identified that date between 2009 and 2012. They say these were supported as departures as they were deemed to fit in reasonably well with no detrimental effect on the conservation area. Informal survey that the applicant has undertaken says that of the 29 properties on George Street, 18 of those have UPVC doors, and within the wider conservation area, which comprises 106 properties, they say that 65 have UPVC doors. The applicant goes on to say they recognise the proposed material is non-traditional, but the finish, colour and design will minimise any impact. And they say that the rear door is in urgent need of replacement as it is in poor condition. It is on the extension with no architectural merit. So members, the key planning considerations for this review are that the planning service has concluded the proposed doors should be of traditional appearance and of timber construction, so not to detract from the historical character of the building and to prevent precedent in the conservation area. The applicant states that the design and the colour have been chosen to replicate the existing doors and to ensure there is no adverse impact on the conservation area. So as well as development plan policies, members may wish to consider if there are any other material considerations in this case. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much for that. So, so just to be clear, this is for planning consent, and the listed building consent is with the Scottish ministers. I know you said that, but it's just to emphasise it.
That's correct. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And just I understand. I had a quick look on the website, the council website. And all the houses on this street are C listed, is that correct?
I haven't actually checked that, Councillor Davidson, but I can put that overlay on and double check if you like. But they certainly all have the same character and appearance if you go up and down the street. But I can double check if members wish me to do so quite quickly on the mapping.
Yeah, one or two of them are slightly different pointed, I think, but otherwise they are pretty uniform. Yeah. Anyway, that was, yes, it would be good if you could just confirm that. I think that would be useful. Councillor Goodall, you have a question.
Just for clarification, that we are only looking at the doors, nothing else, just to clarify that.
Mr. Strachan, I believe that's the case. Mr. Strachan.
Yes, absolutely correct, Councillor Goodall. We're just looking at the front and rear doors. So really what is on this slide here, the windows, as I say, are part of a separate process now through prior notification and prior approval.
Anyone else got any questions? Councillor Victor.
Yeah, it's just a question about painting wooden doors. In a conservation area, is there any reason or any restrictions to painting your wooden door any colour you want?
Mr. Strachan.
That's a very good question. I think I actually don't know the definitive answer to that, but I think if you want to do something that alters the appearance of a listed building, then I think we've probably all seen some high-profile cases in places like Edinburgh where people have chosen colours that are deemed not to be acceptable. So I don't actually recall ever seeing an application in my career for painting a door, but I think that it's something that would probably be worth discussing with the planning service to see if it needed consent. But I don't know the answer off the top of my head, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think it's quite relevant, because if there is no restriction to what colour you can paint a wooden door, it then would be a case of, well, what's worst? A pink door or a PVC wooden door. I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I had a quick look at Street View, and the doors are all different shades of brown, except for one that's a jaunty blue, green, blue. Anyway, it's a much brighter colour. Miss Candia, you have a comment. Oh, you take your hand down again.
You're on
Yep.
mute, Miss
You're on
Candia.
mute.
There we are. Right. Sorry, just to remind members, just following Councillor Victor's question, that the proposal before you is not for an indeterminate colour, but it's for a specified colour, which is a rosewood colour of UPVC, as per what is there at the moment. Thank you, Chair.
You're quite right. Thank you very much. Councillor Goodall.
Again, for just a question for Bruce. The doors we see in front of us are not traditional doors. They are the doors that were replaced in the 90s. So do we have an idea of the design of the door that Heritage would prefer, given that, as I say, these aren't traditional? But I take it, according to Heritage, they would like these doors to be replicated. Sorry, my brain's not working too well. If you could don't understand what I'm getting at.
Mr. Strachan, can you help with that?
I understand the question, Councillor Goodall. You're perfectly clear. You're right. These are not obviously the original doors. These properties presumably date from the 19th century or something like that, and have been replaced over time. Some before any form of consent was needed, or maybe some that have slipped through the net over the years. But the Built Heritage team haven't given an indication of what type of doors that they would like, only sort of referred to the original doors. But of course, we don't really know exactly what they look like. I mean, these are clearly not the design that would have been one would envisage would have been originally on there. But the example on the left, the front door is probably not the worst example. It probably was something similar with a glazed upper section and a solid door, solid panel at the bottom. But it's not traditional. But it's that design is probably not the worst layout that could be envisaged for that door. But the Built Heritage team haven't given a specific example of what they would like to see.
Okay, thank you. You're all coming and going. Richard, Councillor Menard.
Yes. When did these buildings become C listed? Were these doors put in prior to it being C listed or after it was C listed?
I think it says 86. I think it was 1986, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, I'd just like some. So when did this building become C listed? Because I think that's of relevance.
Just looking it up now, Chair, if you want. I have managed to confirm that all the main properties look the same, are C listed, and number 7 to 37 George Street were added in February 1982.
1982. So these were, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Councillor Victor.
Yeah, did we get notice if these doors are beyond repair?
I think that's part of the concerns from the service, although we've got photographs of the rear door, which shows it is pretty much beyond repair, but we don't have any evidence that the front door is, I think, and that's in the report from officers, that there's no evidence and they would prefer to have written evidence of the state of repair of the doors. Is that right? Sorry, I'm just aware, Mr. Trafford, we're asking you to do jobs at one time.
I know it's all too much for a Friday morning, but no, you're fine. And there is no condition survey. Yes, you're right, and that is part of the evidence that the planning service or the Built Heritage team would have liked to have seen. And Chair, if I may, I can answer the question now because I've been messaging someone in the background who knows more about this, whether permission is needed, if you want me to answer that as well.
Yes, please.
Okay. If you're changing the colour of a door on a listed building, so obviously going from, if you wanted to paint this one white or pink or olive green, then yes, you would need permission to do that, listed building consent to do that. But if you're keeping the same colour and just changing the door, then or repainting the door sort of in kind, then there would be no permission.
Thank you. I don't see any further hands up. Do members have sufficient information to determine this review, or would you require additional information or a site visit?
I have sufficient information.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Menard, you have your hand up.
Yes, to be honest with you, I'm not happy with this. I think we would benefit from a site visit personally. Conservation areas and what they're offering and what the service is requiring leaves. I'm really not happy with either. Thank you.
Oh, if you stopped. Can you put your microphone on again, please? And
yeah, sorry. Like I say, I think we need a site visit and more information as to the condition of the front door, the back door. I know we've seen a photograph, but some sort of condition report as well, so we can make an informed decision. And at the moment, I don't think we'd be capable of doing that.
Thank you very much. Certainly, that's mentioned in the report. That the planners would have liked that information. Is there anyone else who agrees with Councillor Menard that we require more information. I would tend to agree. I think I'm not so worried about a site visit. I've been up and down at the Street View and I'm quite happy with that. However, I appreciate your request for a site visit, and I would agree with that. We need a condition survey of the existing doors, particularly the front one. The back one's fairly obvious from the report that the applicant has submitted. Councillor Simpson.
Yeah, I just want to say I agree with Councillor Davidson. But I also have a concern. If we allow this to go ahead and then the listed building consent comes through and says no, what happens then?
It goes through to an appeal.
No, the listed building consent is on appeal already, I think. Ms. Candia.
Thank you, Chair. So there are two separate processes. That's basically what happens. So this is effectively the appeal of the full planning permission application, and the listed building consent, which is a separate consent under different legislation. That appeal process, as Mr. Strachan has said, is currently with Scottish Minister's Office at the DPEA. So they're two separate things. They are two separate procedures.
And not reliant on each other?
No.
Councillor Victor.
Confused. Would it be better if we waited for the Scottish Government to come through with what they think then, or not? Or if we were to grant permission and then the Scottish Government came back and said, well, no, we're not having that. Yeah, would that confuse things?
No, because that would overrule, I believe. Ms. Candia.
Thank you, Chair. So in answer to Councillor Victor, it's perfectly possible that it's different legislation for each to be dealt with differently and to have different outcomes ultimately. I think from your point of view, possibly, I think what you're getting at is if they get one but not the other, how does that leave the applicant? Well, they would effectively need both consents to proceed. But in terms of procedures, they are two separate procedures, and they are independent of each other. I hope that's of help. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, it is. So there is really a motion for a report on the current condition of the doors to support and that was seconded, and there was a second person, and I also agreed with it. So that was a motion by Councillor Menard, and I believe it was seconded by Councillor Simpson, and I agreed with what they were promoting, and I proposing, I should say, and do others have an amendment to make to that? I don't see any hands. So do we agree that we would like to defer this for further information on the condition of the doors? Ms. Candia.
Thank you, Chair. So just to check with regard to further procedure, are members also looking to have the site visit?
Councillor Menard?
I would like a site visit. However, I will, if nobody else is is likewise minded, I'm happy to withdraw that and just go with a report on a condition from the applicants.
Councillor Victor.
Yeah, I don't mind going for a site visit if it helps to clarify the whole area of where it is and what the rest of the houses look like, and would it be detrimental to the appearance and character of the area? Might help us if we saw the whole, the street. So I mean, I don't mind going on a site visit if that's what the rest of the committee would like to do.
I personally would prefer a site visit, but like I say, I'm happy to go with the rest of my colleagues. If there's a majority to go, then I would go. would put forward that.
Other members? Ms Candia.
Sorry, Chair, my mouse is being a bit unruly. I would, I would suggest if there's any issue with sufficiency of information, and given Councillor Maynard's indication there that you may wish to go with the site visit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, certainly, if we got a site visit, it would be to look at the street to decide whether it's appropriate conservation area. We're obviously not in a position to decide whether the doors are in good condition or not. That's not. So we would also be looking for a report on the condition of the doors. But if there are people wishing a site visit, I do feel that we should respect that. And I'm happy to support the site visit, because I think that if that's what you feel, if you don't feel you have sufficient information from the report and you wish a site visit, I think that's something that I would support. So we would defer this for more information and to carry out a site visit. Is that agreed? I don't see any other comments, so I think we're agreed that that's the result of this meeting. So let me move down my so Ms Donovan, can you please confirm the decision for LRB 656?
Thank you, Chair. Regarding LRB 656 for full planning permission for replacements of doors at 21 George Street, Fraserburgh, which is planning application 2026-0151. The LRB has unanimously agreed to go to further procedure to get a survey, a condition survey on the doors, and to organise a site visit.
Okay, thank you very much. So that concludes the business for today, and I confirm that the meeting has now concluded and the live stream and recording will be stopped. Thank you for